I do not plan going to prison in my lifetime. But if I ever did go to prison, I would take a bet that I would much prefer going to prison here in Finland or one of the Nordics than anywhere else. That's just me. I don't even think I've ever visited a prison. Wait, actually, that is a lie. I have visited a prison before and actually been inside, but that was for something that had nothing to do with me. But anyway, I've seen this video online before. I've never watched it. It's about prisons in Finland, right? And also prisons in Norway and stuff. But I think the one about prisons in Finland just has a lot more views. And I've never watched it, so I thought it might be interesting to react to it and see what I think.
This man is serving a life sentence for murder.
I'm sorry, I'm a little body conscious, as you can see. I've gained a few pounds.
A dip in the frozen lake behind the prison is part of his regular workout routine.
Bro is smiling a little too much here. God damn.
Problem. It's okay. Okay, your turn.
Welcome to life in one of Finland's open prisons. There are no cell blocks here, just dormitories. Inmates come and go in their own cars.
Wait, what? Okay, no, sure, no. I'm genuinely a little taken aback. I mean, is he even in prison? Like, what? Anyway.
When Matty isn't at the nearby university campus, he's in his dorm room, studying for a career in tech.
Some entrepreneurship books, marketing books, user experience, all kinds of digital and IT studies.
And we have this kind of normality principle that prisoners should be treated equally, even though they are prisoners, but they should have access to same services and rights as other citizens.
I mean, I would love to see some statistics in terms of how rehabilitated people become after going to a prison like this or something, but I'm actually trying to process this. Like, what does it actually mean to be a prisoner then?
In recent years, Finland has been named the happiest and safest country in the world. Citizens here enjoy generous public benefits, universal healthcare, subsidized daycare for children, and free college tuition.
When people say that Finland is the happiest country on the planet, I think people have this idea that everyone around here is smiling and stuff. No, I think people here are very content, but there's still a lot of depression and that sort of stuff like anywhere else. Just kind of making that abundantly clear.
Promotional films like this, produced by Finland's Criminal Sanctions Agency, document how prisoners are eased back into society with work opportunities and help from counsellors. And the incarceration rate here is one of the lowest in Europe, a quarter of what it was in 1950. In Finland, only 1 in 3 former convicts ends up back in prison.
Okay, that's a pretty good statistic, right? What are some of the other averages? Let me see if I can't do a quick Google search. Let's try, I don't know, America. The United States has a current I don't know what that word is. Recidivism? I don't know. The United States has a current whatever rate of 70% within 5 years. 70%. Okay, so as a comparison, 1 in 3 convicts, those are some good odds, right? So it's obviously working in some way, no?
Compare that to the United States, where 2 out of 3 get locked up again within 2 years of release. A 2018 bill included sentencing reforms meant to reduce what is referred to as recidivism, but they only apply to inmates in federal custody.
That was the word I was looking for. Recidivism. I love the English language, right? But there are some words I don't understand.
Just 10% of the 2.3 million people incarcerated in the US. Critics say the 2018 reforms are only a small first step and fall far short of the kind of meaningful change Finland is so proud of. The scale, of course, is different. Today there are fewer than 3,000 in the Finnish prison system. The number of people behind bars in the US is equal to half of Finland's total population.
No. What? That is pretty wild. I mean, how many people are there in Finland right now? Is it like 5.5 million, 6 million or something? So in the ballpark of 2-3 million people in prisons in America. That's pretty wild to me.
A reimagining of what prison looks like here started nearly 70 years ago, when this Scandinavian nation began building one of the most humane systems in the world.
Nordic nation. Just saying, Nordic. We'll get into that another time. I'm acting like I deeply care about it, but I'm just saying that because I know the audience cares about that sort of stuff.
In some of the latest steps, Finland's Criminal Sanctions Agency is investing heavily in technology training.
First topic is what is AI? Then the second topic, problem solving with AI.
And building a state-of-the-art smart prison for women. And even testing VR to provide an escape from the drab walls and fluorescent lighting of Turku, Finland's highest security closed prison.
These folk are living a better life than I am. Like, what is going on right now? This guy is doing virtual reality, and this video is a couple years old. So that's like some super comparatively new technology, right? I don't think I've ever seen someone who actually has a VR headset at home. Just me personally. But anyway, that's just me.
Mika, who is 10 years into a 15-year sentence, is walking through a 3D forest.
Kamala ottaa noin lasin pois tiedäksä palata tähän todellisuuteen taas.
He appreciates the chance to interact with VR technology and learn the basics of working with computers.
Sanotaan lisään vielä tämän verran, että tämmöisiä vankeja, joita on välillä käynyt vapaana ja tullut takaisin, niin on sanonut ihan suoraan, että ei siellä pärjää, niin, että siellä on niin paljon erilaista tämä kaikki niin tämmöiset, että kaikki on niin paljon tietokoneistettua.
It's so strange now for me hearing Finnish, and although I can't understand most of Finnish, it's just my brain is used to it now. So it's so interesting hearing other people talk on an international stage like this YouTube channel, and my brain, where back in the day would probably be like, yo, that's such a weird ass language, but here I am being like, yeah, it sounds familiar to my ears.
Olisi hyvä saada sitä oppia.
We try to educate the prisoners to use digital services in a meaningful way so that it would really help them to rehabilitate and help them to take care of themselves and take care of their daily affairs and the kind of things, the kind of skills that you need when you reintegrate back to society.
I'm going to take a quick pause and I need some more coffee. Subscribe to the channel, give this video a like if you're enjoying this, and let me know what you think about this. Like, what are some of your views on the prison systems? Not just here in Finland, but in general. And if you want to support me, you can buy me a coffee or get yourself some of my merch. I've got stuff, I'll link it all below. So far, I'm really enjoying this. I've got a few thoughts bouncing around in my head, but I want to hear a little bit more about what they're saying.
Now Finland is investing in the infrastructure to support that readjustment. A €34 million prison that many hope will set the standard for the future. No bars, glass windows, an internet connection in every room, and small touches meant for comfort.
This is our specialty is divan. Yes.
When it opens in this fall, the brand new facility in Hämeenlinna is expected to be Europe's most high-tech women's prison. But just across the road, a reminder of the past. The old facility, built in 1972, once housed both men and women. It shut down in 2019 after years of disrepair, mould, and other reasons.
I'd love to find out the rationale behind creating prisons like this, and I'm agnostic either side. I think that trying to rehabilitate people is admirable and probably a better way for prisons to be run, right? Because an argument can be made that there are certain people that you might want to throw away the key, but like obviously that's not how justice and stuff works. But I think in general, trying to reintegrate people or rehabilitate people is a good thing. And someone coming back from a bad situation and improving their lives is always a good thing for humanity in general. Like people who have testimonies of what they once were and who they are now. Because people make mistakes, right? But let's carry on.
This was before toilet.
And where did they empty?
I take this and put it there. The smell was terrible.
And just a few minutes' drive away, a relic built in the 19th century and modelled on the American style of prison that is still widely in use today. Cell blocks arranged in a radial floor plan, prisoners living in solitary confinement.
This is a little bit more of the type of prisons that when I think of a prison, this is what I usually think of. Probably because I've seen it in films and all that sort of stuff. But I do know that solitary confinement is probably one of the worst things you can do to a human being, because humans do need interactions and that sort of stuff. I think that solitary confinement, unless for really extreme situations, will probably end up being a relic of the past as time goes on, I think.
This one is a museum now, preserved to show just how hard prison life here used to be. For Matti, the road to reform has led him to a career that he would never have dreamed of before. He connected with Reactor, a digital agency that designs online education courses. When they heard he was participating in this story, they invited him to give some feedback on the program.
I actually really love the fact that there isn't this massive stigma. I mean, I don't want to dive into psychology and philosophy and that sort of stuff, but I don't know this guy's story. But in general, I like the vibe of not stigmatizing this guy who is seemingly trying to turn his life around.
I'm eager to hear, what did you think about the first course? What was your general impression about it?
It was shown quite simply what is AI, what isn't AI. Right. So that was really good, and kind of like show that it's not about magic.
Seeing him in this meeting, it's easy to forget that Matti is still serving out his sentence for murder. In that time, he hopes to complete a university degree and start a business.
One way to get kind of like employed is, of course, self-employment. So, and a lot of prisoners have already the entrepreneurial mindset.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are basically low-key businessmen, right? That's funny.
Based on Matti's recommendations, Reactor is planning to add an entrepreneurship course to the prison curriculum.
That's like enforced my trust in also like this Finnish prison system, where like giving chances to good people like you. Like, it's awesome.
After the meeting, Matti heads back to Louka prison. But he is excited for the future.
At the beginning of my sentence, I thought that there can only be negative things in being in prison, that basically life is over. But I think you should give people a chance. That's the most important thing.
That was incredibly interesting. I've got a few questions. The first one is he actually in prison then? Like, I'm still not quite sure how how it works. Like, when does he have to be in prison? Or I don't know. Maybe it was just, maybe my brain went to sleep in the beginning of the video, but let's just say that he has to be in a certain place at a certain time and blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of the points that have been touched on in the video are pretty cool. I like that. Well, at least what you'll find here in Finland is people have a lot more trust in governments than other places like the US, for example, because there are certain things that just work really well, you know? So I think the idea of people having faith in the prison system, that it is more likely to rehabilitate people and reintegrate people back into society, is actually a really good thing, right? Because in the States, for example, I keep on picking on the States, whatever, but you have a lot of for-profit prisons and whatever, and I don't know, it kind of, then you have to ask some really uncomfortable questions. But for this, I think it's pretty cool. I would say that the only caveat is that as long as people are properly prosecuted for breaking the law, like especially when it comes to really violent things, right? I think that's a good thing. And as long as prisoners' comfort does not take precedence over normal people. Yeah, it's really interesting. I wonder where this guy is right now, if his life has changed. Maybe I should, or if he's still in prison, or because you do get some really sick people out there who enjoy doing bad stuff, right? Like, who really enjoy hurting people. And I guess for some people, for some folk might look at this and be like, yo, this dude did something terrible, but then he gets sent to a prison and lives a better life than I'm living, you know? But then we have to ask deeper questions, I guess, like, what is the point of prison? Is the point of prison you broke the law and that's it? You just thrown away put it into a hole and we throw away the key and that's that, right? Or is rehabilitation a very important part of the prison system? The fact that we live in a world where people grow up in different circumstances, there are mental health issues, people themselves are possibly abused when they're growing up and that sort of stuff, and that leads into them doing bad things, and then it means that so far as it depends on us, or so far as we are able to, we try and create a pathway for people to get rehabilitated and come back into society, right? I lean much more on the idea that rehabilitation is probably the golden thread. It is the thing that we are trying to reach for. Yeah, I haven't thought about like the prison system. I'd love to know. It seems this way of dealing with it, through the numbers that were shown comparing Finland and America, is showing that this is obviously working. But I'm sure, and I understand there are other things that are connected to this, like the way society is run here, the way the government is run, and inequality within the different countries, where here in Finland, it's a lot more flat in general, I would guess. I think trying to preserve humanity, even in extreme situations like this, I don't think that's a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing when you start prioritizing the prisoners and the lawbreakers over normal people, i.e. putting normal people at risk by giving light sentences to people who are obviously committing violent crime and are obviously unrepentant about it. Like, that is just batshit crazy, right? But as long as that doesn't happen, I think keeping the humanity of people and recognizing the complexity of human beings is an important thing. And I think until we start acknowledging that a little bit more, it's going to be very difficult to, or prison systems are going to continue being this part of society that's just dark and hidden that we don't want to kind of think about, right? But yeah, these are just some of my thoughts. Let me know, what do you think below? Is there anything else you would want me to react to? And I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much. My name is Chico Moya. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and you guys are awesome. Anyway, until next time, cheers.